This is Her Standards with me, Queen Tambori. We are so glad that you could join us for yet another episode of this program that is all about celebrating women. And today we have another amazing, beautiful woman that you need to know. I am talking about Kenya's first female petroleum engineer, and indeed East Africa's first female petroleum engineer. We are excited and we can't wait to hear her story. We cannot wait to hear exactly what she did to get to that level. Now, as usual, if you want to be part and parcel of this conversation, hit us up on social media across all platforms at KTN Home, or you can as well talk to me directly at Queen Tambori. Now, welcome to the show, engineer.
Thank you so much, Queen. Thank
You're
you.
looking so lovely, by the way.
Thank you.
I was so close to wearing yellow today. I don't know what happened.
Well, I'm glad you did it because it could have been a uniform.
I can imagine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm so glad to meet you finally in person. We are Facebook friends, apparently.
Yes, and I'm very honored and humble. I'm glad to be here, and I'm looking forward to our discussion today. And you look lovely, lovely, amazing, beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
All right. So this is Her Standards. We're all about celebrating women, and we couldn't wait to celebrate you. But before we get to, talk about the details of the show, maybe you can tell us and the viewers at home exactly, 3 things that define who Michelle is. Who are you?
For me, I would say I'm a mother. That keeps me very grounded. My children, they look up to me. And also I would say I'm a mentor. And also I'm a family person. I'm married, a wife. So those are the things that keep me grounded and keep me going and pushes me through my career and pushes me through everything that I do in my life.
Now, you say you're a petroleum engineer. What exactly does that entail? Yeah, what is that job? Do you discover oil and gas? Because I know that's a pretty new field in Kenya, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oil and gas is a new field in not only Kenya, in East Africa.
Yeah.
And I've been very passionate to try to explain to people in a very simple terms. If we're going to start talking about oil and gas, I'm very passionate about it. It's going to be an all-day deal.
Yeah.
Probably a week also. But basically, hydrocarbons are just natural resources. It just exists by God. We can't explain that. So how do we discover the natural resources? It's through the geologists. So we have the geologists, they come, and I will say also technology has really improved. Yeah. Technology and innovation has improved with time. So they use their machinery, they discover where oil is underground. They have seismic machineries, and it just sends sounds and the wave comes up. This is all physics now. I think we learned about that in probably Form 3, Form 4, and more whenever we're in college. But basically, it just starts with the geologist. Then after the geologist, they will tell us where the hydrocarbon is and what depth. Then after that, now they send that information to the drilling engineers or the exploration and appraisal team. And then now we start drilling to really compare what they found versus actual. Sometimes it's a miss. So with that, that's how we discover the hydrocarbons. And once it's discovered, we bring up to the surface. Of course, there's so much that goes on through that. We bring up to the surface. When it comes to the surface, we have oil, water, we have gas. So it's up to you to see what is your main product. Of course, oil is the main product. That's the most expensive product. We clean it up. Sometimes it comes with soil, sometimes it comes with just dirt, sometimes there's some chemicals that come up with it. So we do an easy separation up on the surface, and that's how we send now to the refinery, because that's raw material for it now to be processed to now have petroleum. Now to have all the petrol, kerosene, jet fuel, all the unleaded, diesel, all those products. So basically, in short, in simple terms, that's what petroleum is.
Exploration.
Oil exploration and production.
Production. Yes. I'm trying to reconcile Michelle, the person I'm sitting right across.
Yes.
And the Michelle out in the field looking for oil, and I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time. Is this what you always wanted for yourself? Because the assumption, and I mean the viewers can forgive me, is that some of these professions, someone must be, you know, physically strong, they must look a certain way, they must dress a certain way. Yeah, is this what you wanted to do?
Actually, yes. Since high school, I wanted to be a chemical engineer. So I studied chemical engineering in Texas Tech University. And when I was doing my internship, we were applying, that's the one good thing about universities in the, I guess, in the developed countries. Okay. They actually bring all the companies in the school, and our job is just to look good, have a resume. So I did apply for internship, and I got at BP, British Petroleum. Actually, I got like offers, a lot of offers, but I started now juggling, like who's paying more, you know, when you're a student, you're broke. And at that time, the oil and gas industry was doing really good. So they were paying interns a lot of money. So it was up to me to choose like which industry do I want to work for. So I chose BP because they gave me an opportunity to work in the field. And I was crossing at that time chemical and petroleum. So it was good for me to start in the field. And by nature, I like small cities and I like small towns. So for me, being placed in a small city and working in the field was best suit for me, and the money too. So that's how, so that's how I've always been good in sciences. I've always been good in math. It's always been my strength all through since I was a little girl. Like in class 1, I was given a certificate for scoring 100%. So all through, I've been good in sciences and math. And I just knew I would do something in sciences. And then it became more clearer when I was in college.
Just picking up from what you were saying, you did not go to university in Kenya, you studied abroad.
Yes.
How is that?
That was quite a big change. So one, the opportunity is open for everyone. You know, here in Kenya, they base your admission in the university according to the KCSE results. So if that could have happened, I could have not got a chance. Because in KCSE, however much I was really good in sciences, I got B's, so I didn't get the cutoff. And during our year, people performed very well. So I was not going to get a chance to do chemical engineering. So in the US, there's that openness that you can actually pursue what you would like to do, instead of just basing your whole career on just one exam.
One exam, honestly.
One exam, yes. I wish it was even
cumulative. Like maybe
they should look at the back. Okay, how did she do? Maybe in the junior, how has she been doing as a senior? How has she been doing in the past? Because now you're determining somebody's career just with one exam. It's probably not fair.
It's unfair. I think so. I hope someone from the Ministry of Education, we need to find a way of what. We need to rework this. You cannot base, because you know what happens is at the KCSE level is dreams are made or broken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like you, if you didn't have the opportunity, what could have happened to you?
Actually, it could have been a different story, because I was gonna do accounting. I could be the worst accountant because I went to Strathmore even and did my exam. But you know, I thank God for the opportunity that I got a chance to go to Texas Tech, and that's whenever. Actually, now I think I was making up for now KCSE, and I did very well. They were quite impressed with the scores that I got in the sciences, the entry exams, and I pursue. It was very different because, you know, we're going more with the British system, and American system is different. In the math class, I will understand what the teacher is talking about. Okay, first of all, there's an accent, so we need to deal with, and of course, just the environment. There was a lot of changes, but the one thing that I was struggling with, I didn't foresee it and nobody warned me about it, was the different units that they use. So you know, here we use kilograms,
kgs, and they use pounds.
Yes, and they use pounds. And then mileage, and as we use kilometers. So I will understand math and everything, but that took me a little bit off. But it just took one semester for me to really quite settle in, and to still continue doing good in sciences and math. Yes. So that was some of the difference. Of course, there's culture difference. There's, you know, your environment that you're used to is all different, but you adjust to it because in your mind you're saying you're here, these are your goals, you're given another opportunity to pursue your career. Now you have to make the best out of it.
You are the second engineer we have hosted on this show. Thankfully, I think
yeah,
we are doing well.
nice.
The producer is doing well.
That's very nice.
Yeah, and when we were interviewing Engineer Lucy Mutinda, I think she's founder of EcoCycle, the recycle sewage water. You know her?
Yes, I know Lucy.
Actually, she was one of our first initial guests on this show.
That's nice.
Yeah, and she told us that when she was in college, there were probably just a bunch of women in class compared to the other gender.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe what is it that we can do as a nation, as a country? What is it that we can do in order to improve those numbers of women taking up STEM courses? Because I know in the past there was a lot of the cultural aspect of it. Things women were not allowed to take certain courses because they were manly. But right now things have changed. So maybe what is it that we can do in order to improve? Because right now we are still talking about that equity in many spheres of life. In Kenya, it is still a big deal, including politics.
Yes.
Yeah. What is it that we can do, Michelle?
Yes. I would say according to STEM, so we are still struggling in trying to bring girls into STEM and try to understand. And that's because of, as you said, you know, the society, how we've been perceived for many, many years, traditionally, and it's been rolled generation to generation.
Yeah.
But I remember, because I remember my dad telling me, like, you're really good in sciences, but pursue. So we have that support from the parents. So we need to start getting the parents to
support the children.
To start supporting the children and give them that open space and environment for them to pursue what they would like to pursue. And for them to also see, you know, what subjects are they strong on. And if they're strong in sciences, open an environment for them. So that's what happened to me. And I'm really grateful for my parents. And then another thing is, even you yourself, you know, you just need to figure out what are you able to do out there. Because this world is very stressful. So you can imagine if you're pursuing something that you don't like, you're not going to be at your best. You're not going to bring the best capacity out of yourself. So you yourself, you need to ask yourself, what do you want to do? And even if you're seeing the numbers of you, for example, myself, we graduated only 5 out of, I think we were 20. And it wasn't easy because there's some things, you know, something like some girl talk and all that, and the environment was so conducive. But college was okay. Well, now when it comes to reality, that's whenever
that's where the rubber meets the road.
Absolutely, absolutely. It becomes very difficult. You're out there in the field, you're working long hours, you're working taxing hours, you're out, it's either if Petroleum will either have onshore or offshore. So if it's offshore, you're out in the middle of the sea, so there's nowhere you can go, you're just enclosed. And in your onshore, there's some fields. For example, when I worked in Wyoming, it was out in the boonies, you're just by yourself. And when I worked in Chad, it was just every scenario, every field was just, its difficulties was just different, but it wasn't conducive for a woman. But you have to speak up, because I was enjoying what I was doing. When I wake up, doing the petroleum, doing my calculation, seeing if we're having oil, producing, trying to figure out what technology. So I was really enjoying that. So I wanted to make sure that I am also having the environment that is conducive for me to work. Even though they're all male in my team, I would request. We have a HSC department, health, safety, and environment. So I would request, this is exactly what I would like to have for my environment to be more comfortable for me to work in.
And for you to feel safe.
And sometimes they just, you know, because they've always been used to having male, so they just don't provide. So nowadays they're conscious, and that's because somebody spoke. And that's why I wanted to be that person who's going to speak and open the environment so that other young girls who are doing STEM will be able to have this environment for them to work
I think
in
it's
comfortably.
important. I mean, one thing that I'm picking out of this is you must have a voice. If you're not,
Absolutely.
if you're not comfortable, then no one will know that you're uncomfortable until you speak up.
Yes.
So if you need a toilet, you need to ask for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you need, say, equipment that suits you, then you need to ask for it. Otherwise, you will end up suffering.
Absolutely.
I know it has not been easy for you, especially being a petroleum engineer. Are there moments when you felt, when people questioned your competence?
Yes.
Yes. Were there moments like that?
Absolutely. There's some that happen in the office, and there's some that happen in the field. The ones that happen in the field are the ones that took me back, because I'm a supervisor in a site.
Yeah.
So when somebody comes, they have to get the authorization from a supervisor first. And sometimes I'm not in the office, sometimes I'm walking around in the field to supervise, to see what's going on and making sure all is going well. And when I'm called, sometimes it happened more in Africa more than the US. Yes. So when I'm called to come and receive visitors, they always question if I'm the one who's the
supervisor. They're still waiting for the supervisor.
They're still waiting for the supervisor. Because remember, being a lady, being black, and also having a small body, a petite body.
And looking very young and beautiful, yes.
Yes, so they always question. So there are times where I'm brushed off. If I'm coming with my assistants, they'll brush me off and go and talk to my assistants.
And what do you do?
Because they are men.
What do you do about it?
At first, I used to get aggravated. And I'm like, I'm like, I'm the supervisor. But then with time, of course, when you grow older, you become wiser. So when I started becoming wiser, I let them, let my junior take them around to a point where they can't answer certain questions. And then that's whenever I take
You step in. You're like,
yes,
now you need to meet the real boss.
Yes. and it's sometimes it's really nice for them to take back, like, I'm so sorry.
I guess a lot of that has to do with emotional intelligence.
Yes, emotional intelligence. Actually, I used to feel good if my junior can explain exactly what we are doing. It makes me look like I'm a good leader, that I have trained them well. So I usually give them that opportunity also, so that even they can grow themselves.
I think that's a tip that many women can identify with, and maybe we need to choose your battles.
Yes.
There's one saying I particularly like, that you cannot kill a mosquito with a hammer.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's true.
Really?
That's true.
Yeah. So I think it's important that we are able to understand the environment where we work, and we are able to come up with the perfect solutions in order to take care of ourselves and our jobs.
Yes.
I know there's something you're doing for young girls.
Yes.
Yeah, because of the experience that you have had here in Kenya, the experiences you've had abroad, and even the experiences you've had on the job based on your role as a petroleum engineer.
Yes.
Let's talk about Engineer Michelle Boit Foundation.
Yes.
What was the inspiration? What was the motivation?
Yes, so my inspiration started from way back. I always wanted, I'm always passionate about youth. Even at that time when I was a youth, I always wanted to encourage, inspire somebody, motivate somebody. When I was in college, we had this group where we go and talk to young primary children that just to have somebody to look up onto. And when I graduated college, when I joined BP, they automatically give you mentors. That's one thing I realized in developed countries. They give you mentors. You don't ask for them. They give it to you. So I was assigned, even in college, I was given a mentor, like an advisor who I'll be talking to every semester before you start your term.
That is amazing.
Yes. You have to talk to your advisor.
Why don't we do that here in Kenya?
Yeah, that's something, so that I was inspired by that. So before you start your semester, you go talk to your advisor. You've already been assigned. And you talk about your results for last term, and then talk about results, your classes that is coming up, if there's any struggle, and if there's anything that you need help in. And then once they sign, you take that to the administration, and that's how you can start now your semester. And then now when I joined BP, automatically they assigned me 3 mentors. 2 of them were technical, had 20 years plus experience. One of the technical was my immediate boss, and then the other one was equivalent to my boss but working in a different business unit. And then I had my they used to name them a BP buddy. So it's somebody who's my mentor but almost my age, like just a year or 2 years older. And then that's the one now you can talk to and ask all these silly questions in case you're in the meeting, you feel like you are they talk big terminology and you don't want to look silly, so you talk to your BP buddy to explain to you all this terminology. So you had 3 mentors. And these mentors, they work with you, they have a program, they work with you for almost 10 years. So you have somebody to talk to. So the experienced mentors are the ones who are going to tell you, and they're technical also, they work with you with your career path. And then your BP buddy was the one who would just tell you about life, how to adjust. You can imagine you're coming from a small city coming to a big city. Yes. So
the culture shock and all.
Yes, the culture shock. So we have that. So when I moved to Kenya working for Talo, I felt lost.
How long ago was that?
That's been 6 years
6
now.
years, okay.
Yeah, 6 years now. So I'm mid-career, and at that time I had 6 years experience. Yes, 5 years experience. So I felt like I'm still, there's still a lot to learn. And that's whenever I felt a little bit lost, because the program wasn't existing here in Africa.
I can imagine the hangover coming from all that attention and guidance and walking down, and you feel like you're all alone, you're on your own.
All alone, because we only had expats who had 20 years experience, and then of course we don't have petroleum engineering in Kenya, so we didn't have any young ones. So we had different engineering departments, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, and then we trained them. So I was the only one who was the mid-career, and yes, I lacked a lot of mentorship, so I had to figure myself, make it through, and I was using the knowledge that I had from BP to make myself better, and just and of course it's East Africa, so we don't have a lot of programs, we don't have a lot of seminars, conferences.
System, there's a problem with the system, it needs to be updated.
And then of course it's a new industry, so we don't have it, so we're still building. So it was very exciting for me, because I'm coming from somewhere where the industry have existed more than 50 years to somewhere where we are starting. So I was actually the reason why I wanted to come is because there's some things I always wanted to change, but that system has been there for 50 years, and you've been given wells that have already been drilled, you cannot change it. But now I'm in a position to drill a well according to what will help down in production years and years to come. So with our so that's how I got inspired to start our mentorship. And I started going with my high school first, which is Kapnibirai Girls High School. No. I get that a lot. There's a funny story about that. So there's Kapnibirai Girls High School. Oh, it's changed right now to Our Lady of Victory.
Okay,
but during our time, it was Kapnibirai Girls High School.
Okay.
It's in the Nandi County.
All right.
I started going to visit them. And actually, each and every time I used to come home, when I used to live in the US, I would go to my high school and go talk to them and see how it is. What are they doing? Inspire them, tell them my story. And we started seeing performance really improving, because they're seeing one of their own actually is doing well. And with that, they started inviting me for prize giving, where the parents are there too, and the parents started contacting me, will you please come to another school, and that's how it started spreading very fast. And I now started, I registered it. and now we are reaching out to high school students where we talk about academics. And in the past 3 years, we also combine academics with behavioral. Now we start talking about drugs, alcohol, social behavior.
Yeah.
And for college, we also reach out to the college students. There we talk about, they've already established their career. There's some who are still feeling lost in their career, so they want to redirect themselves. And then we also talk about how do you present yourself in getting a job, internship, and we provide them avenues like networking events where they will go and sell, themselves, their CV writing, and we do mock interviews for them. And then the third group that we have is the young career, the young professionals. So with them, they've just started
entry
their
level.
career.
They've just started working.
Yes, they just started. If they're lawyers, engineers, and yes, we started first with only girls in STEM, and then more youth started reaching out. They're like, I know I'm not an engineer.
But
is it okay? You will just be my mentor. And then they were like, oh, I know I'm not a female. Is it okay? You be my mentor. So we have grown. We have more than 1,000 mentees in the foundation. 80% are in Kenya, but we also have in East Africa. We have Uganda. We have some in Nigeria, Zimbabwe, and we also have some in the US. Yes.
Way to go.
Yes.
I think you're doing amazing stuff.
I'm really enjoying, and we hope to reach out to more. No COVID came and distract us. Distract everyone, but it gave us an opportunity now to reach out the ones who are outside country by using the online platform.
Space,
Yes. But we are growing, and we want to reach out to more. We've just seen actually with our youth, they are very smart, very smart. They just need opportunities. They just need a platform that will provide them opportunity. And then that one person who has gone through it. So for the girls who are in the STEM and they want to pursue STEM, so it's easy for them to reach out to me because I've already gone through it. And it's easy for me to tell them my story because I've already gone through it. For them to see what to expect and what are the things, the do's and the don'ts. Yes.
Have you managed to mentor probably girls who are interested in petroleum engineering?
Yes. Actually, I'm also a board chair in one of the universities. Petroleum Engineering, Kenyatta University.
That's amazing.
I'm a board chair there, yes. So I've worked with them in the past 3 years and we've come a long way.
Wow. Well, we have Engineer Michelle Boit in the building today. We are talking about her career being Kenya's first female petroleum engineer and indeed East Africa's first female engineer, on the intrigues of her work and what she had to do in order to get to the level where she is at. We want to take a short break. When we come back, we want to get very personal, up close and personal. She recently held a beautiful function. We'll talk about that in a short while. Plus much more. She has also built a house for her mom. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back. Talk to us at KTN Home across all platforms, or you can engage me directly at Quintambori on Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter. See you in a short while. Welcome back to HerStandards with me, Quintambori. We are so glad that you could join us for this second part of the show that is all about celebrating women. Today, there's a woman you need to know. We have with us the beautiful, talented, skilled engineer Michelle Boit with us. She is Kenya's first female petroleum engineer and as well as East Africa's first female petroleum engineer. We always say on HerStandards, we set very high standards, and this is definitely a new high, and we are just glad that we could have her with us today to share her story. Welcome back, Michelle.
Thank you.
How are you feeling? Are you comfortable? Do we need to give you something to drink?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much.
Thank
you. Yes.
Now, before we took a break, we were talking about the intrigue surrounding your work, the challenges, discrimination. There's one thing that women particularly, one challenge that women particularly face, and it has to do with one of the primary roles that we do, and that is nurturing
Yes.
maternity, we give birth, we take care of children.
Absolutely.
Has that been a challenge for you in your field?
Yes.
In
Actually, that has been quite a big challenge, because I remember when I started off, I remember we were already few females.
Yes.
Starting off going to the career, we were 5. And another stage that we get into is now when you're starting your family. And when you start your family, with our career, you have to travel a lot. You travel, I remember that's the first thing they said, are you flexible? Because you have to be flexible.
Yeah.
Because they will say, you need to fly, go report something in London, you need to fly to the US, report or represent the team,
Yeah.
or you need to go to the field, check what's going on. So you have to definitely be flexible. And with that, whenever you're starting a family, it can be a challenge. Like, how do you balance?
Is it possible to be flexible with the family?
Right.
Yeah.
And then you find that other companies, for me, I was very fortunate to work for BP. They were flexible with me when I just had my son and the young career. They allowed me, because we were doing more training. We have this training of 3 years. They allowed me to travel with my son and my nanny.
That's a
So
heavy
we'll
luggage.
go and stay in the hotel as I do my training, come breastfeed. So there's that balance. And some companies don't allow that, because that means, because we had to hire 2-bedroom apartments, so that's expensive.
Yeah, more
And
expensive.
we had to give in a car. There was a lot. We had to be given a car seat. So there's a lot of expense that goes in. So not all companies can adjust to that cost. So I was very fortunate. So it can be a challenge, that's for sure. And then when you're married, for sure now you have to balance. If your husband also is somebody who travels a lot, for example, one of my friends, they were both engineers. So she had to step down for the husband.
Why? But why?
Because the children, and now if both of you travel, who's going to take care of the kids?
I mean, the husband can also take care of the kids, or we can change shifts.
I'm telling you. So those are, there's always that assumption. And actually, it's not even assumption, it's kind of natural for women to be the nature, you're breastfeeding and you're taking care of the children. So it's not easy. It's not easy. If the company does not allow you to travel with the child and your nanny, you can imagine that would be tough. So we have to make those very tough decisions. So we have that, and many people in our field, actually this is something I've never even mentioned, they don't have kids.
Oh.
Yeah, they just choose not to have kids.
Because they want
to focus on their career.
On the work.
Yes. So there is that also. And whenever you focus on the kids, and the company is actually helping you out and assisting and providing that environment, is definitely a plus. But also you want to have a supporting family that will allow you, because there's also, apart from allowing you to travel with the kid, there's also these schedules. So for example, if you're working offshore, you're going for 1 month. We usually work 1 month on, 1 month off. If you've just had your baby and you're breastfeeding, it's either you change your position or you quit. And that's when you see a lot of women now falling out in the engineering career, because the schedule will not allow, or the company does not provide that environment, or you don't even have the support system. I'm just so glad, and I'll say I'm very fortunate that I had all of that. Yes, I had a company that will allow me to work with a young child. I had a very flexible schedule that will allow me that. And also I had a support system at home.
It's amazing.
Yes.
You are lucky. Do you think, in your personal opinion, do you think that women or female engineers, or women in STEM in general, they miss out on opportunities because of going through maternity?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Because you can imagine there's this project that has just come up. And with that project, you can only work we call 28 schedule. And you cannot go for 1 month if you have a 1 month old at home. So you have to keep that at park and take care of the situation. Maybe work 8 to 5, work from the office, and do more of the paperwork and miss out on now seeing the projects in the field, and hoping that later on something else will come up. Yes. My God. I remember there's one time that I wanted to go to Angola. I wanted to work in Angola. It was a huge project that was happening, and it was all about production, and I was gonna increase so many skills at different levels. But because I had young children, they gave my colleague that opportunity. There was a male colleague, that opportunity to go and work. So yeah, it happens, but sometimes you have to make the best out of it. We can't change situations. We just have to make the best out of it. Yes.
Very sad state of affairs. I hope something is done in the near future. Allow me to switch gears a bit.
Yes.
The first time I knew about you is when news went out. There was this beautiful house. It was called the White House. I'm not surprised that even the decor in your house is white. So white must be one of your favorite colors.
Yes.
You built your mom a house. It was not cheap. Yes, why did you do that? I'm not saying it's bad. I'm asking this question from a point of love. I would do the same for my mom.
Absolutely. Because I know when you went out the media, and there was good, negative, and positive.
I'm sure you suffered a lot of cyberbullying.
There was a lot of cyberbullying, but because we are tough. When things get tough, or even you get tough. So for me, it's very important to take care of your parents.
You can say that again?
Yes.
You can look at the camera.
It's very important to take care of your parents.
Yeah.
They have sacrificed a lot to take care of us. They've made sure we have the right education. So once you're successful, you have to go back and take care of them.
But even more importantly, you know, in the African setup, there's always this notion that there are things that women are not supposed to do.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, that was a big highlight also, because in the society, we've always believed, especially in Africa, that you have to have a boy.
Yes.
If you have a boy, now you are the man.
Yes.
You have children.
Yes, now you can
girls,
speak, you can speak
girls,
up in
you always
meetings.
Feel like, I always feel that girls will be taken away and they won't do anything.
Yeah.
So I wanted to change that narrative also.
Nice.
To say, if you are not blessed to have a boy in the family, it doesn't mean the girls will not take care of you.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
And so that, you know, we need to start decreasing these divorces and stress in the family because you don't have a boy. It doesn't mean that you're going to live less.
Child is a child.
A child is a child. And that was another actually example I wanted to give out, that actually a daughter can build a parent a house.
Good stuff.
And not just a house.
A house. A white house.
A white house. We brought White House to Kaptich Village.
I liked it.
Yes.
I liked it. I mean, one day I know, hopefully, Grace and I, Grace is my producer, we can come and visit.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm sure my mom will love to host you. Absolutely.
Very nice. Yes. Anyway, we're about to finish, but before, we cannot end this show without talking about your engagement. Girl! Oh, tell us more about that. And we need to see the ring, first of all. I don't know whether the camera can zoom in. Now that we have enjoyed, I can see what is trying to zoom in. Okay.
Thank you.
That was amazing. Okay, for some of us who are observing from social media and following for comments, no, at least I remember, I think I threw in a congratulations because I meant it. It looked so beautiful. Were those 3 events, 2 events, 4 events? Please fill us in. Explain to us, yes.
So, first of all, God has his own timing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I tell people not to rush, not to settle. Everything comes at its own timing. I got my kids early when I was in college and right after college. And then I focused on my career. No one should ever feel rushed. And I think my family for always supporting me. I've never felt
You didn't
rushed.
feel under pressure?
No
I think
pressure.
you're very lucky.
Yes, and maybe because God is providing that to me because of what I'm doing to other people too.
Okay.
The power of giving. I always tell people the power of giving. You know, power of giving, helping other people. Like God will provide you the right people in your work, in your path, your life path, and open doors for you that you would never imagined. Yeah. Yes. So I focused on my career until now. I felt, no, this is the time to settle, and I have a very, very supportive husband. We've lived together for quite some time. And then, it's time to make it official.
Make it formal, and you did
make
in
it
a
official.
big way. Yes.
Make it official, and also I felt it was right. The right person, the right time, everything just fell in place. I'm very happy, very peaceful. I have a very supportive husband that has walked through with me in different stages of life. And for us, it was important to make it official. Yes, so it's a blended, it's a blended culture. Some Kalenjin, he's Luya. So for us, Koito is more like a traditional wedding. And for Luya, like whenever you're coming to negotiate, it's usually just something very small. Just come negotiate, eat something and go home. No.
Not for Kales.
No.
Please, no. It's called sherehe, but it's called sherehe. Like sherehe.
And then I wanted to do something simple, and then I forgot what I've done for the community, who I am in the community. My friends, I have friends from all over the country. I forgot the impact that I've done in the community. So it was supposed to be, I wanted something small. When it comes to my private life, I like simple things. And it started becoming big and bigger and bigger. Most of my bridesmaids came from the US. And they said, even with COVID, they have to make sure they come.
Wow, that is so good.
Yes, some didn't make it, but most of them made it. And also my family and friends, my sisters, my brothers are still in the US, they all came.
Wow.
So it was really good to have all that support. We had friends that flew also from the US. I had about 30 people that came from the US. Some didn't come from Canada because of and Australia for the obvious reasons. But they did send their family to come represent. So that was really good. So yes, with Koito, there are 2 sessions. So whenever I sat down with my friends, my girlfriends, my bridesmaids, they said, we're gonna go all out. You're the queen, so we are gonna make you be the queen and feel like a queen. So they went all out shopping. They started with the bachelorette party. They did a surprise bachelorette party. We held it in Eldoret. We had a really good time. And then we now went into the event, and Koito now was 2 different events. The morning session and the afternoon session. The morning session was now the negotiation. That one I wanted to be more tradition, as so was the Kale colors. Yes,
nice.
Yes. So it was tradition with a modern touch.
It was a nice blend, a nice mix.
Yes. So it went very well. We had both families. They came together. They negotiate. Of course, as for the ladies, were not allowed there. For the bride, we usually in a room somewhere until they agree. Once they've agreed, we came, they brought me, and we exchanged gifts. That's when I got my ring, and of course I gave him a watch. And during that time, now it's like happy ceremony. And for us, whenever we're happy, we drink morsik. So morsik was there at plenty. And I love the way my family just understood. I said we make it very traditional. we were served with the sotettes, we were served even with those vikombe, ile ya mabati.
Sotet, if you're wondering, sotet is
calabash.
The calabash.
Yes.
Word. I've learned a bit of Kali.
Yes,
So
calabash and decorated with beads. Yes.
Yeah, amazing.
So it was very successful, and then after that, now was we call it now, there is the traditional wedding, we call it pre-wedding, engagement. That's whenever now we go outside, now we celebrate, now we eat.
And
you know, by the way, you don't eat until you agree.
Until the negotiations are concluded.
Yes.
Wow.
So the first thing after negotiation is done, you drink a book stick. That's now a sign that we are together, we are now one family. Yes, and then after that, now the second part now is eating. We had lots of food, good food.
You're about to finish. Do you have anything, any final shots before we call it a day?
Yes. Yeah. Basically, I would just say for people who are successful, women who are successful, please come back and pull other ones, because it depends in anything that you're doing, whatever passion you have. For me personally, my passion is in youth. I would like to see as many successful youth.
Thank you so much, Engineer Michelle, for joining us today. We are so happy that you're able to share your story with us. We don't take it for granted. Asante sana.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm very honored and humbled.
Wow.
And hopefully my story will inspire one or two and motivate our youth and women in STEM.
We'll try and give you feedback. Grace and I will try and give you feedback. We'll track down girls who've been inspired because of this show and enroll for petroleum engineering.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. We hope you can invite us for your next hike. I'm not a hiker, but I can try.
We have small hikes in Karura Forest.
Yeah, particularly where I don't have to go very high altitudes, just, you know.
And the good thing with our group, we have the starters team, and then we have advanced team. So we'll start you.
You'll find a way of, you can put me with the starters. I think that's where I belong. But I mean, I've had a good time.
It's so much fun.
Thank you so much.
Network and it's so much fun.
Really?
Thank you so much for having me.
And in fact, for inviting us to your humble, beautiful abode. We hope we can make this a regular thing. We don't take it for granted. Now, this has been HerStandards with me, Queen Sambori. Today we were privileged to have the company of Engineer Michelle Boit. I'm talking about Kenya's first female petroleum engineer, and not just in Kenya, but also in East Africa. If you are not inspired, then possibly you need to find out what's wrong with you. But because this has been a very beautiful show, I have learned myself from her life lessons, and I hope that her story has touched yours as well. If you have a comment, you have a question for Engineer Michelle Boit, you even have a suggestion of a woman you think needs to take that seat next time, then you need to talk to us at KTN Home across all platforms, or I'm also available as Queen Tambori on Facebook, on Instagram, as well as Twitter. From us here at KTN Home, we just want to say thank you for keeping us company. Remember to keep your head, your heels, and your standards high. Till next time, bye for now.
Woman of the Week, Michaela Cowell. Michaela Cowell became the first black woman to win an Emmy for limited series writing for her drama, I May Destroy You, which explores themes of sexual consent and assault. Michaela Ewuraba Boakie Collinson was born in London on 1st October 1987. Her parents are Ghanaian. She is known professionally as Michaela Cowell. She is a British actress, screenwriter, director, producer, and singer. From 2007 to 2009, Michaela attended Birmingham University, studying English literature and theology before she transferred to the Guildhall School of Music and Drama, where she won the Laurence Olivier Bursary Award. She graduated from Guildhall School of Music and Drama in 2012. Michaela got her acting breakthrough in 2013 when she appeared on Top Boy as Kayla. In 2014, she wrote and starred in Chewing Gum, which was based on her 2012 play Chewing Gum Dreams. She's best known for creating and starring in the E4 sitcom Chewing Gum, which was in 2015 to 2017, for which she won the BAFTA Award for the Best Female Comedy Performance, and the BBC One HBO comedy drama series I May Destroy You, released in 2020. Maikala also wrote and co-directed I May Destroy You. Maikala Cowell also appears as Tracy in Chewing Gum and Kayla in Top Boy.